Yo, Shabbat Shalom, man. Everybody out there, man. Peace to you, man. Blessings and all that, man. This is, what we call the seventh day of the week. Who knows what days are what days, man. But, we're trying, you know what I mean? So we're just trying to count to seven, shut it down. But, yo, peace to everybody out there, man. It's been a beautiful, Shabbat day in the frequency, man. Now ready to start another week. And I just say that, man, because it's important to get off of their frequency. This is a frequency war. It's a vibration war. You know what I mean? So even if you say, okay, well, that could be this or that, look, it's an attempt. Nothing I say or we say, perfect and all that. Like, it's an attempt, right? So it's an attempt to get off of the clock. Most of us, as a nation, are on their clock. You know what I'm saying? We start our new week on a Monday, but that's the second day of the week, but we're thinking it's the first day. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that is how we can start to adjust, attempt to get off of their frequency, get off the frequency of the static. You know what I'm saying? The grid within the grid, so to speak, the artificial grid, the McDonald's, the frequency. So we're going to be talking about 432 hertz. We're going to be talking about 440 hertz. And I'm not getting into trying to prove, the best of the best. There's all kind of great, experimentation, whatever you want to do it, man. But in terms of the order, what we got is 432 hertz, that 4 plus 3 plus 2, that 9. For those that research into these type of things, man, to understanding what they call sacred geometry, which we just call the creative signature. So let's not get it twisted into anything head flipping. You know what I'm saying? These are things, these are our secrets. And they reteach them, and we thinking that they something scary and crazy because we're religious minded. And now that we're claiming our frequency back, we're like, what of ours did you take? Did you take my frequency? You know what I'm saying? And when they're digging up our instruments all over our indigenous lands, they're coming out tuned. And a lot of them, research the ones come out of Kemet, research these instruments that our family, our melanated family, have been having their instruments tuned to the frequency of the creator, or I would say of the system that's been created for us, right? This is a system. I think we're all waking up to understanding that we're in a system. We're just not in just some spinning ball of water that's just going to be going on and wherever the hell is going, 60,000, 67,000 miles, just floating around. It's going like this on a wobble, and it's just going whatever, and then you got everything going like this around it. Like, come on, man, this ain't no boogie down. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no club, man. You ain't gonna turn this into a circus. You know what I'm saying? We got all throughout our scripture, we got all throughout, you know what I'm saying, our senses, where we can see flat, we can see stationary, we can feel that. Just think about this for a second. You think the perfect supreme intellect is going to create a habitat, perfect that habitat, put his creation in it, make it perfect for his creation, put his creation in the habitat, give him senses, give him perception, give him, spirituality, breathe ruach into this particular creation, give this creation all this, but don't give them the sensibility to know if they spinning on a ball of water or are they perfectly stationary and still with everything spinning above and around them. You see, those that think that the flat earth is trying to hide the creator has it twisted. They put you on a ball of water and made you spin like this and said it came from the Big Bang, a Copernican theory that hides the creator, just like Darwinism. Copernicus is the Darwin of astrology. Meanwhile, the stationary flat earth is just backing up scripture for those that want to see it as our patriarchs, our ancestors' writings that say firm, fixed, immovable. That is flat, fixed, immovable. We have terrain, but overall, it is a surface that's not moving, and that's backed up with the word that we're talking about. So we're fixed, and we understand our orientation, and everything's revolving around us, then we have the Most High at the throne with everything revolving, the sun going around. When it's summertime, the sun's around you, then it spirals towards the edge, the Antarctic circle that surrounds us. I mean, look, I'm giving you a couple, you know what I'm saying, things that I believe are jewels. I believe once you understand this orientation, that you understand that's when you see the Creator. When you're still, when you stop spinning on a ball and you're still, then you can look straight up and you can say, my Creator's right there. I don't have to guess which ball he's on. I'm on this ball and he's on some other ball and all these balls. Everything's revolving around you. You are the most important thing to your Creator. You are the most important thing to your Creator. He made all this for you. He made the sun for you. And he makes it go around you to keep you warm, to nourish you. The moon, the stars within, the firmaments, the waters below, the waters above. Could be a reason why the sky is blue. Nobody else has a good reason for it, except the aurora and the atoms hitting this and all this kind of stuff. Hogwash. So we're reorienting, and I say all that flat drop. I always got some flat drop, but I say all that to bring us into the 432 drop because I want to read some stuff for you, to you, off a couple of sites, and I'm gonna put the links down so you understand it's a frequency war. Even your frequency when you're spinning is disheveled. You know what I'm saying? You can't focus if you're spinning on a ball that's spinning on a wobble at 1,000 miles per freaking hour, and you don't feel nothing, but you feel the breeze. But they got to make up some scientific theories, some Coriolis, and all this other kind of stuff, so they can make you, for those that are studious, put you through the rat race. And now you're on a rat race, believing all these things and gravitons and all this kind of stuff. But then they say, well, we're going to leave it as a theory of gravity, not a law. Whoa, 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 whoa. So based on your theory of gravity, which all the great minds had to leave it at a theory, because we know laws, right? Law of physics, what goes up must come down. There's certain things that are laws that are provable, repeatable, science. And there's other things that's like, well, this is my hypothesis. I believe there's some gravitational force. It's force. It's force. It's force. It's always a force. That's why I say gravity is the god of science. It's a force that you have to believe in that weighs you down. At the center of a ball, there's a force that has everything on the surface sticking to it, like a magnet. But instead of you just being stuck to the floor like a magnet, you have perfect balance. You can run and jump, and LeBron James can do all his things. We're just balanced perfectly. It's all good because of this gravity thing on this ball of water spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. When do we stop? You know what I'm saying? When do we stop spinning and get our frequency back? So let me see what we got here. This is the mindunleashed.org. TheMindUnleashed.org. All right. This is an article by Brendan D. Murphy. It goes like this. Humankind is the largely unwitting victim of a frequency war on our consciousness that has been waged for decades, if not millennia. The goal has clearly been to keep us as gullible and subservient as possible through multifarious means. Multifarious means. What are multifarious means? Let's see. Multifarious. 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 I'm doing this with you because I don't want to give a crazy definition. Many and various types, having many varied parts or aspects. Excuse me. Alright, you know me in this place, man. Alright, having many and varied parts or aspects. Diverse, many, numerous, multifarious. Alright. So we see assorted, multifaceted, all these kind of things like that. So let's go back. Alright, so the goal has clearly been to keep us as gullible and subservient as possible through multifarious means. So through all these ways, they want to keep us gullible and subservient. Now notice, I'm just talking about an article by Brendan D. Murphy. I'm going to attach it. It's The Mind Unleashed. You could look it up yourself. This is his particular perspective on things. But the interesting thing is that he's talking about frequency. He's not talking about Columbus, what nation you're from, if you're spinning or not. He's only talking about frequency. But look how it applies. When these things come together, what I'm saying, when you stop spinning and you're still. And you can feel your creator directly above you. And you can connect to the land that's immovable underneath you, on the foundations. And you understand you're the center of attention, and the stars and everything are revolving around you and what you're thinking and what you're doing. They're reflecting you. They're reminding you, not for you to worship them, because they themselves exist underneath the firmament. Some call it a dome. But look, why not hypothesize if this is, why can't I have a theory of this? Why do I have to accept a Copernican theory that's not been proven? And why, shout out to Jeranism, why oh why, with our billions of dollars, I mean, the ISS, man, that's sitting up there, International Space Station, it's the most expensive project NASA's ever done. It's over $140 billion budget. And they don't got one camera that has a live feed of your spinning ball Earth. And they refuse to have a live feed because they say, oh, well, you know, some excuse of some lights and things that they got to do and all this kind of stuff. Like, come on. Come on. It's 2016, man. Come on, man. We got crazy reverse engineered things going around the sky. You telling me you don't got a live feed of the Earth, so you can't confirm to the people on the ground if they're on a spinning ball or not. And you also got to admit that every image you've ever showed us is a photoshopped composite, and they admit it freely. And we see you and you're like, yeah, whatever, that's a picture. You've never seen a picture of your Earth. So who are you going to believe about your habitat? You don't think your creator gave you the ability, the senses to sense where you live? You think you got to rely on somebody else to tell you where you live? You think our ancestors don't have no science, and if they say it was flat, they just crazy, because their science isn't your science, because they don't have the humanity to know their environment, to know if they're on a spinning ball of water or are perfectly still and stationary and can connect firmly to the ground beneath them. But they just don't have the updated science that we have. But yet we go back to their science every single time. So which one is it? We can't have it both ways. And the ones that was worshiping a Baal in Samaria, and they were having, a picture of a ball and, all that Nibiru stuff, there's a big ball in these planets. That's what I'm talking about. That's what you have to look at. That has been the deception ever since. Were they a part of the order of the Creator, or did they branch out into their own thing? Were they worshiping the Creator, or were they worshiping the Son? And did they have their own order outside of the Creator's order? So don't go back to something on somebody's wall in Samaria trying to say that, oh, but look, our ancient people did believe the earth is round. That was the deception right there. Do they not still worship those same gods? And the Copernican Darwinism is not coming out of what they were teaching back then in Babylon. Fixed, firm, immovable. You can't get a spinning ball when the Most High says, I'm putting you, here's your habitat, and it's fixed, firm, and immovable. Which means that you too are fixed, firm, and immovable. And yes, that's when you find your Creator. When you're fixed, firm, and immovable. Now see how this connects to that frequency. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it. I won't interrupt. In modern history, in particular, there has been what Dr. Lynn Horowitz has referred to as the strategic militarization of music. The strategic militarization of music. The strategic militarization of music. This is Dr. Lynn Horowitz. All right? And this goes back to the early 30s, 1930s. This ain't nothing, Kingdrop's just bringing up to the people in 2016. I'm bringing you back over 80, 90 years, and people are breaking down the militarization of your music and the process and the steps it's going to take. So that when you hear a song on the radio today, this is the predecessor of the frequency that you're on. They gave you an artificial frequency. This happened in 1939 when the tuning of the note A above middle C to 440 hertz was adopted in the world of music in 1910. An earlier push to effect the same change was met with limited success 3 decades later. The British Standard Institute, BSI. All right, so before the International Standards Organization in 1950, there was the BSI. Remember, this is coming from Britain, so this is coming from the Queen, which means it's going back to the Pope. It's a frequency war, people. Who are you? What frequency are you on? What is your organic frequency? You're going to have to choose up. You're going to vibrate, or you're going to let it pull you down. Focus on it. Let's go. In 1910, an earlier push to effect the same change was met with limited success 3 decades later. The British Standard Institute, BSI, adopted the A equals 440 hertz standard following staunch promotion by the Rockefeller Nazi Consortium. Why do we always got to go back to the same goons? These are the same goon boss. These are the good guys, right? But good means bad. These are the white guys, right? But white means black, and black means white. And that's your checkerboard. They reversed the frequency. They became white, and you became black. That's your curse. All right? And again, shout out to the kings that I watch and I pay attention to, man, all over the place, man. You know what I'm saying? The original American, Let Us Find the Truth, Lex Will. All these are great guys. I got to keep shouting them out. Tyrone Street. And there's many, many more. Watchmen. You know what I'm saying? The stuff on McAfee's, man. You know what I'm saying? All these guys. I focus on and I just draw from that. And I do my own reading. And I try to figure it out, man. Here's some good stuff I want to show you guys. And I'll do a different take on this. But this is an inquiry into the distinctive characteristics of the Aboriginal race of America, man. And look, these people are doing essays on you. If they came over here and thought you were just African, why do they got to write an essay, and why does it got to get published? Why does it got to get published in a British library? Why? Oh, why do they have to publish it? Watch this. The following essay was read at the annual meeting of the Boston Society of Natural History on April 27, 1842, and published by direction of the society. They had to have this published by direction of the Boston Society because they still trying to figure out who the heck you are. So they got to keep breaking down your frequency. Another good one, you know, I always say, I got the source, but I forgot my book. Jack Forbes, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people put me on this book, man. Y'all got to get this, what is it? Americans and Native Americans, by Jack Forbes. And it's the one I was just spitting to y'all, the American Holocaust joint. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to keep digging in those, you know what I'm saying? Like, I keep getting some other stuff, and I, you know, always got to, you know what I'm saying, keep it ready with the scriptures and all that, because it ties into this stuff, especially when you get their dialects and what these Mayans were speaking and how they had their own damn near exact version of the, you know, crossing the Red Sea, and you could break down their language in Hebrew, the Mayan language, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of stuff with this dialects and all this kind of, they found it all here, people. I don't know how to, you know, I'm not trying to hurt nobody. I'm only trying to tell you that you got the drop, and that you had the drop the whole time. You had the magic eye the whole time. You had the magic eye, the inward eye, the understanding the whole time. You had the within. They are without the within. So they create a reality to where the out is in and the in is out, and you're trying to be cool with them, but in order to be cool with them, you got to be outside of your mind. To be cool in this kingdom, you got to be outside of your frequency. You got to be outside of yourself. And the whole thing is go back within yourself, right? The kingdom is within, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Go back to the one. Find him within yourself. Don't just look outside and, you know. They teach you to look outside for signs. Look within you, your frequency. It's already written. They that know. So this is the militarization of music. And this happened in 1939. All right, so now, yeah. 440 hertz is standard following staunch promotion by the Rockefeller Nazi Consortium at the precise time World War II preparations were being finalized by the petrochemical, pharmaceutical, war financiers. This was at the year that A equals 440 hertz became the international standard. Research it yourself. I'll leave the link. So the year these people going to war with this World War II stuff, the year it's all going down, this is when they push the frequency on you. And you don't even doubt it today. You just turn on the radio. Turn on the TV. I love that song. Work, 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 work. Shabba, shabba, boo, la, boom, 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 shabba, shabba, ta, ta. Give me the my ta, ta. Pass me my my ta, 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 ta. She's singing about passing her a my ta. And y'all don't get it. No, I'm just playing. But, yeah, man. It's whatever, man. Do you. I'll put it in 432 hertz. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? The first thing we try to do, man, at 432 radio, 432 the drop radio, is just, you know, even if I don't care for the content or whatever the case is, I'll still put it up because people care about that song and they might want to hear the song. Once they hear the song, then they come over here, they got to hear me. And they got to hear me give them the real thing, man, the real skinny. So I just throw it out as bait. And for those that want to work their ass over here and get this work. You dig that? You dig it down? So, yeah. This is all happening at, you know, this is all World War II time. And it's real. I mean, this is like, oh, man. I just cleaned my whole balcony. My wife and I, man, and we've all, the dust is, yeah, it gets crazy. I can't wait to kind of, you know what I'm saying, get into a non-dusty environment. Nah, man, it's all good. Love to y'all. Here we go. So, we got the Rockefeller Nazi Consortium at the precise time. WW2 preparations were being finalized by petrochemical, pharmaceutical, war financiers. This was the year that A equals 440 hertz became the international standard. The American Federation of Musicians had already accepted. My bad, excuse me. The American Federation of Musicians had already accepted the A equals 440 as a standard pitch in 1917, and the U.S. government followed suit in 1920. So we followed the American Federal Musicians was followed by the U.S. government in 1920. So, of course, they're the same people. They're pushed by the Rockefeller Nazi Consortium. One must surely ask why Nazi propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels argued for his odd intrusion into musical creativity, persuading Hitler's supposed enemies in Britain to adopt this superior standard tuning to the Aryan master race. Why did the Nazis and their secretive, by well-documented U.S. financiers, what did they have to gain from this? What did the Nazis have to gain from this new superior standard tuning that they're now introducing? It is interesting also to note that in October 1953, despite the British and Nazi push for arbitrary A equals 440 standard, which is disharmonic, it's telling you right here in parentheses, which is disharmonic. And pull this up. I hope you're reading this with me. Vis-a-vis, check this out. Flies. Which is disharmonic vis-a-vis the psychoacoustic laws of creation governing reality. Got him. Man, I wish I had that little thing, you know. That dude come in, got him. Got him. Wish I had that. Because that was it right there. Who's paying attention? It is interesting also to note that in October 1953, despite the British and Nazi push for the arbitrary A equals 440 standard, which is disharmonic vis-a-vis the psychoacoustic laws of creation governing reality. This is them writing about the effed up stuff they did to the frequency. And not all white people were down with this. You had, you know what I'm saying, some groups of Italians that were trying to go against it, you know, making this the international standard. Some French musicians were trying to go against it. And of course, you know what I'm saying, we were getting slaughtered. So, you know, they slaughtered our frequency. Now they were starting to slaughter the frequency of music. So first they slaughtered you, then they slaughtered your frequency. Then they made sure that the frequency never brought you back to life, because you're going to read that they believe that this stuff wakes up your DNA and it wakes up your entire energy and stuff like that. But they can only see it from the abstract. We see it as it wakes us up quicker. You know, it's a frequency war. So whatever you do, you tune off of that 440 hertz. You know, we enjoy 432. Each one of your centers, you call them chakras, whatever, but your energy centers, each one of them they resonate on that scale. You know what I'm saying? So go to the drop, 432 to drop. Go to what is 432. You can get more drop on that, or you can go to the categories and click on 432 drop and learn much more about these things, man. Or just go Google this stuff, man. I'm just here to raise your awareness of it. I'm not like a scholar of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? I do my thing, but I want to bring you the information so that, you know, when we get the radio show back up, man, and thanks for your patience, because we're trying to build it straight through the website. We don't want to go through the third parties. It's kind of time consuming, but we're going to do it because this is what we're here for. When we get the live stuff back up, you're going to see how fly it is, man. For the artists to be calling in and hearing their music in 432 hertz for the first time, and they're just enjoying it, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a good feeling. We play 432 hertz throughout the entire radio broadcast. We drop whatever drop, health drop, science drop, tech drop, sports drop, whatever you want to drop. But we always drop down to, we always have a drop topic, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to Silas Nehemiah, Rah the Great One, D Will, Political Mike. That's the squad, man, drop squad, man. So we enjoy bringing you, you know what I'm saying, that awareness of your vibration. And this is what we're talking about. I got to read it again for those that ain't hear me. It is interesting also to note that in October 1953, despite the British and Nazi push for the arbitrary A equals 440 standard, which is disharmonic vis-a-vis the psycho, man, acoustic laws of creation. They're saying it's against the creator's laws right there. Laws of creation governing reality. So he has a different reality and they gave you another reality, is what they say. A referendum of 23,000 French musicians voted overwhelmingly in favor of A equals 432 hertz. To our understanding, that's just your frequency of your consciousness, your crown. And then you have your pineal gland, third eye, has a frequency. Your throat has a frequency. Your heart has a frequency. But they're all harmonic. So when he says this is disharmonic vis-a-vis the psychoacoustic laws of creation, the sound, spiritual, psychological laws of creation. So if they flip it on you, they flip your entire, they make you crazy. They turn you into madman, zombie, crazy people. I've been bumping 432 hertz all day, man. Just go, you know what I'm saying, to the vibe suites. You can click on love songs, lovers rock. I got Sade, all that kind of stuff in there. I got the mimosa suite, the jazz suite. Nothing but jazz music, man. Coltrane, man. You know what I'm saying, all the great ones, man. So, you know, enjoy that. I got the basement for the hip hop heads. I got Pac and Biggie and everybody up in there in 432 hertz. So you click on the vibe suites. It's right there on the top category. So you can just enjoy it with your family and just see if it affects you. Now we're approaching schools all throughout our district and other districts. You know, we have a program called the Frequency of Learning. We say it's a program addressing behavior through the mathematical frequency of music. Frequency of Learning addresses behavior through the mathematical frequency of music. And we bring that to school, and they can get their own link on our website that has their school banner and all that. They can choose their own songs and playlists, and they can play it softly in the classroom and see how it affects the psychoacoustic laws of the psychology of the students, to calm them down, to counteract all that negative vibration from the food and everything else, the TV, all that other stuff. Thank you, God. So we're all good. Thank you for bearing with me. So yeah, 23,000 French musicians voted overwhelmingly in favor of A equals 432 hertz. Many musicians through recent centuries have expressed their strong preference for the A equals 432 reference pitch. There's a quote right here that says the A equals 432 hertz tuning was unanimously approved at the Congress of Italian Musicians in 1881. So they researched this. They knew the drop. They knew that these instruments of our ancestors, our forefathers, were already tuned to 432. And so they wanted that frequency for themselves. But those Rockefeller, you know what I'm saying, those cats that this always goes back to, those same old goons with the leather jackets. Same goons, man. Follow this, yo. But it's not really even them, it's who's behind them. We all know, man, you know, this is a reality thing. So when we flip-flop, that these are entities we're talking about. This is the principalities. They all go back to the same source that in Jubilees you can see beg the Creator for just a tenth. He said, let me just have a tenth of these angels. Don't destroy them all. Don't destroy them all. I want a tenth so I can confuse people and be the static you want me to be. I want to be the static to your universe. That way I could refine your children, right? I can test them the way you want me to. This entity can't make a move without the Creator. He was created in the energy of the Creator and was granted permission to be static in the frequency for a temporary amount of time. And those that are selling themselves to the static to gain some type of, to triumph in this frequency have sold themselves to it. So when they see that it was only a little bit of static and the frequency, behind it it's not the sun you worship, it's that which creates the sun. But all these, people go back to the same old thing because they get flip-flopped, so they get turned inside out. The sun is only 32 miles across. Think I'm crazy, you're going to find that out. The moon is only 32 miles across. You think I'm crazy, you're going to find that out. It's a teeny little thing. Look at Gods of Egypt, the little trailer, and see how small they made the sun. When they panned out and made the flat earth, it was like at an angle, so you had to really know. You turn it, it was a flat earth and a little dot that was the sun making a hot spot on the clouds, because from 96 million miles away, you can't make a hot spot on the clouds. From 96 million miles away, you're not going to make one direct little hot spot, little beam. No, it's going to be spread out from 96 million miles away, so it has to be close, very close. Research the independent balloon experiments that people are doing every day, putting up their own balloon with the, GoPro lenses, even though they are curved lenses, so you'll see how they invert and do all that kind of stuff. But some of them got the flat lenses, so we can actually see where we live. We're not going to find curvature. And don't get tricked by curved lenses, because you'll see them inverting in and out. This quote says, this 8 equals 432 hertz tuning was unanimously approved at the Congress of Italian Musicians in 1881 and recommended by the physicists Joseph Savure and Felix Savart, as well as the Italian scientist Bartolomeo Grasse Landi. Look at these people, they all recommended 432 hertz. The vibration of sound, according to preliminary research, analysis and professional discussions by Walton, Kohler, Reed, etc., on the web, A equals 440 hertz frequency music conflicts with human energy centers. So A equals 440 hertz frequency music conflicts with human energy centers. So what you're hearing on your radio might be bumping. You might be a Young Thug fan. Cool. But at least be a Young Thug fan in 432 hertz. At least be in harmony. If you're gonna, if you're gonna turn into the frequency, you know what I'm saying? Just do you, you know what I mean? A equals 440 hertz frequency music conflicts with human energy centers. That's what I just said. Chakras. They call them chakras. I keep saying energy. Because just like Tesla said, to understand things in their simplest form, you have to break it down to frequency, energy, and vibration. Break things down simply into energy, frequency, and vibration. Then you can break down and understand your automatic connection to the Creator. your automatic connection in an energy center, and how you've been hijacked over and over again. And this is one way with sound. All right? From the heart to the base of the spine, the lower four, alternatively chakras above the heart are stimulated. Theoretically, the vibration stimulates ego and left brain functions, suppressing the heart mind or your soul, intuition, and creative inspiration. So we're not inspired, our souls are confused, and they have us like robots, and we are controlled under the 440 hertz. So we say get off that. Then you'll research this yourself, and you look and you'll understand there's a cochlear. They call it cochlear, Cochlear, which I can kind of give you a little preview of that. Cochlear, something like that. Hope you got to see it. And it's right there in your ear, right there within the inner ear. And according to the research, when you look into the cochlea, that you'll see that this particular inner, part is already tuned to this particular vibration. So when they play the 432, they see the automatic stimulation of yourself, because you already have a tuning fork, basically, called a cochlear. But when it hears the 440, and again, my theory with these singers that are getting throat surgery, these Adeles and Sam Smiths and all this kind of stuff, is that they keep trying to sing live the same way that the music has been tuned disharmonically. And everybody hears it in a disharmonic way, and you're like, yeah, man, I'm a superstar producer, man. I got an ear. I would be able to know if I was out of tune in a different frequency. It sounds the same. It sounds like you are in the right key because you're on a different scale. That's what I'm saying. You get to a different harmonic scale, then those keys start to blend even more, and the background vocals become even clearer. So anyway, I'm gonna drop something else that is going to link to another site called rollhollander.eu. It's going to drop how the 440 hertz became standard, breaking it down from the 1938, the Stuttgart Conference of Physicists, to the 1836 in Paris, how they started tuning their opera pianos in 440 hertz. This is breaking down how each time they started to slowly bring out this 440 hertz, they invented the 440 hertz tuning pick in 1845. So all this happened after we were invaded here. So that's why I said check out all the videos, and you'll see the picture that's being painted. I'm bringing things into, a harmony, with all these, types of understandings. When you say, okay, I'm in a flat, stationary plane. I'm not on a ball of water. Now you can see the frequency going straight up through the throne all the way to you. And all these vibrations, these so-called stars and planets, which are just vibrations, entities, dwelling places, whatever you want to call them, energy, are revolving around you. So you are the centerpiece of this energy. You are being molded into something. You are the blossom. You are everything it's all about. So they hide it by putting you on a ball and spinning you out of control for the rest of your life. And you'll never have a single stationary moment. If you truly believe, even subconsciously, that you're spinning on a ball, how would you ever be still? How could you say, I'm still? Unless you were still. And your senses are telling you you are. Your senses are telling you that water is flat. It flattens out in any surface. It doesn't make a freaking ball. And the same gravity that would crush ball of water, millions of tons of water into a ball, but you can jump around freely and the birds are all good because of some other scientific gravity thing. Think for yourself. Do your research. Your enemy ain't going to tell you where you live. They're not going to tell you all the land on the map. So I'll drop the links, man. Love to you. Love to all my family. Shabbat Shalom. And keep digging, man. Keep digging. And thanks for vibing and commenting, man. Everybody that's increasing the vibration over here. One love. We out.